Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Thanks God. Let's be praying to Allah Subhanahu wa taala that today we can meet again in the second meeting of the subject of sastra dalam pengkajian atau pembelajaran sejarah. Literature in the historical studies or historical teaching and learning. Starting our lecture today, let's reciting together Basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, I would like to continue about my presentation or my topic as I have explained last week. Because of that, allow me to share with you related to the topic today. Okay, it is clear for you? Well, so this is our subject, and as I have mentioned last week, that if we want to analyze about the literature related to the historical event or historical fact, firstly, we should be understand about what really happened in the history or what the historical fact in the history. It is very important. So first step, if we want to understand about the literature in the historical study, firstly, we should be understand about what really happened in the history or the historical fact. Okay. And secondly, based on the historical fact, based on what really happened in the history, we can analyze about the literature. Okay. Whether the novel, the short story, the drama, and so on and so forth. So it is very important. So first step, we should be understand about the historical fact or historical narrative. Okay. Because of that, I would like to introduce you and share with you related to how we can understand about the Indonesian history. Okay. I think, as I have mentioned and recommended to you, in order we can understanding about the Indonesian history, firstly, should be read about these critical books written by Dennis Lombard as the French historian in 1996. His book translated to the Bahasa Indonesia, Nusa Jawa Silang Budaya. I think all of student of history should be read about this book. It is very important to understand about the Indonesian history. So according to Dennis Lombard, in his book, if we want to understand about the Indonesian history, we should be saying, based on what Dennis Lombard said, geological approach or geological analysis. Because as we know that annal school in France is concerned with the geographical history. In this context, how history can be analyzed based on the geography or geology and so on and so forth. Because of that, in his book, Dennis Lombard, in the first book, in the volume 1, he analyzes about the modern period, modern era. No, so when he analyzes about the history of Indonesia, not based on the conventional approach, from the past to the present. No, but based on the geological or geographical approach. So from outer stratification to the inner stratification. Okay, because of that, according to Dennis Lombard, if we want to understand about the Indonesian history, firstly should be understand about the outer stratification or modern era, modern period. And modern period in Indonesian history, according to Dennis Lombard, started from the era of colonialism and imperialism in Indonesia. So as we know that entering and spreading of colonial power from Western country in Indonesia, from the Portuguese, Spain, France, British, and then Netherlands, it is starting of modern Indonesian history and introducing also about the modern civilization, what we call as the Western civilization. Yeah. Of course, based on this Western civilization, there's also the response from Indonesian people, from native people, elite and grassroots people, including also entering in the period of Indonesian national awakening. And then we also becoming to the Japanese occupation period and Indonesian independent and post-independent. I think it is the modern period and outer certification according to Dennis Lombard. Okay, so for example, if we want to analysis about the novel, for example, or short story related to the in the time of Japanese occupation, for example, in modern period. So we should be understand what really happened in the Japanese occupation period or in the time of Indonesian Revolution. So firstly, should be understand about what really happened in the history, and then secondly, we should be referred to the literature work. Okay. In the volume 2 or in the second volume, Dennis Lombard analysis about the middle stratification. This time dominated with the narrative or history of Islamic civilization. As we know, Islam coming and spreading in Indonesia since 13th century until currently. And when Islam coming and spreading to Indonesia, Islam also giving the impact about the civilization in Indonesia. As we know, until currently, the majority of Indonesia were Muslim, and there's also many legacy and civilization heritage related to the Islam. So I think we should be also understand how Islam coming and spreading in Indonesian archipelago. There's many kingdom or sultanate in Indonesia since Aceh in Sumatra, Palembang in Sumatra, and then Banten in Western Jawa, Cirebon, Demak in Central Jawa, and Surabaya in Eastern Jawa, including also Mataram in Central Jawa. And in others island, in Kalimantan, there's the Banjarmasin Sultanate, Pontianak Sultanate. In Sulawesi Island, there's the Gorontalo Kingdom or Sultanate and others, including also in Moluccan Island, there's the Ternate in Tidore Sultanate, including also in Sunani's Little Island, there's the Bima Sultanate. And this Sultanate, Islamic Sultanate, as the political entity is very critical, including also in responding the Western colonialization. Okay, so because of that, should be understand about the history of Islam in Indonesia if we want to analyze this middle period or the period in the Islam. So if we want to analyze this, for example, or if we find out about the literature related to the Islam period, we should be understand what really happened in the time of Islam when coming and spreading in Indonesia. Okay, so it is about the second pass or second certification or middle certification, and the deep certification is the Hindu and Buddha period. Okay, it is the core certification. Hindu and Buddha or the ancient period. In ancient period or Hindu Buddha period, we should be understand also how the Hindu religion or Buddha religion coming and spreading to Indonesia. I think similar with Islamic period. In the time of Hindu and Buddha civilization, there's also establishment about many Hindu and Buddha kingdom. We know about the prominent Buddha empire, what we call as the Sriwijaya Empire in Sumatra, in Palembang. And then in East Java, there's also the Hindu empire. We know about the Majapahit Empire. Do you know what is different between kingdom and empire? I think kingdom is little area. Maybe what is similar in ethnic or in area, but empire, there's the multi-ethnic and the territory is broadly compared with the kingdom. So empire is bigger than the kingdom. Okay, and in the time of Hindu and Buddha, at least we have the two empire, Sriwijaya Empire and then Majapahit Empire. So we should be understand about this history, about what really happened in the time of Hindu and Buddha. Because of that, if we want to talk about, for example, or analysis about the literature related to the Hindu and Buddha period, we should be understand about this period. Okay, so it is very important in understanding or analyzing about the literature related to the historical event or historical fact. Okay. Okay, so because of that, for example, if we want to analyze some literature related to modern history, for example, maybe you know about the novel written by Ahmad Tohari, okay, Ronggeng Dukuh Paruk. Ronggeng Dukuh Paruk is a novel written by Ahmad Tohari. It is narrating or explaining about the critical event related to the GTTS 1965 event. Okay, so because of that, firstly, we should be understand what really happened with the GTTS 1965 and its implication. Do you know GTTS, Gerakan 30 September 1965, and its implication? Because the what we call protagonist or the prominent figure about the Ronggeng Dukuh Paruk is the what we call the Serintil, and Serintil also finally engaged in the what we call critical event GTTS 1965. So because of that, if we want to understand or analyzing about the novel of Ronggeng Dukuh Paruk written by Ahmad Tohari, firstly, we should understand about what really happened with the G30S 1965 and its implication. Okay. And also, next, if we want to understand also the novel written by Mohtar Lubis, Senja di Jakarta. It is the novel related to the time of liberal and guided democracy in 1950s, 1960s, the political, social, and economic condition. Because of that, if we want to analyze this also, or using the novel of Senja di Jakarta, written by Mohtar Lubis, firstly, we should be understand about what really happened in history in the time of liberal democracy and guided democracy in 1960s and 1950s and 1960s. Because many aspect analysis or narrated by the Mohtar Lubis in his novel. Okay, and last an example, there's the collection or anthology of the short story written by Idrus, Dari Ave Maria ke Jalan Lain ke Roma. This collection or anthology of short story related to the time of Japanese occupation and hello, hello Satriaji, okay, please silent. And in the time of Indonesian Revolution, okay. So because of that, if we want to use or analysis about the Idrus anthology or Idrus collection about the short story dari Ave Maria ke Jalan ke Roma, we should be understand about what really happened in the time of Japanese occupation, what really happened in the time of Indonesian Revolution. Okay, I think it is the technique or the approach if we want to understand or if want to analysis about the literature related to the history, okay? Because our subject is history in the historical studies or history in the historical teaching and learning. And as I have mentioned previously that if we study about the history, they are not interested in because history just talking about what we call as the 4W and 1H. Okay, just talking about the what really happened, when the event was happened, and then where the event, and then who the figure, the prominent figure in that event, and then why that event occurring, and also how the process of the event, something like that. I think it is just factual matters. But in literature, there's not only the what we call connecting between one historical fact and others, or one event and others, but also there's the dialogue, for example, between the prominent figure or protagonist figure in the literature. And of course, the dialogue and also the narrative in literature is very interesting and can be an enrichment in understanding of history. Okay. Okay, I think it is an example if we want to use an analysis about the literature related in the modern history in Indonesia. If we want to understand also, for example, in the period of Islam, how Islam coming and spreading to Indonesia and impacted to the Indonesian community, we can also using, for example, the novel written by A.A. Nafis, Robohnya Surau Kami, okay? Or biography, okay, written by Hamka about Ayahku. I think these two novels were narrating about how the Islamic reform movement in Indonesia in the last 19th century and early 20th century. So, as we know, in the history of Islam, particularly in the 19th century and 20th century, there's the Reform Islamic movement, and there's also in early 20th century establishing the Reform Islamic organization such as Muhammadiyah, Persis, and so on and so forth. And this Reform Islamic movement was making the dynamic in the history, in the community, including also in the Islamic Ummah. Because of that, if we want to use an analysis about the robohnya surau kami, written by Aan Nafis, or biography written by Hamka related to his father, Ayahku, I think we should be understand what really happened in the 19th century and early 20th century related to the Islamic reform movement. Okay, so firstly, we should understand what really happened in history, and secondly, we can analyze about the literature related to the history. Okay, and lastly, if we want to understand also about the Arok Dedes, it is the novel written by Pramudia Anandatur or Perang Bubad. It is also related to the historical event in the time of Hindu and Buddha period. Okay, so because of that, if we want to understand or to analysis about the Arok Dedes novel or Perang Bubad novel, we should understand what really happened in the time of Hindu and Buddha period. As we know, Arok Dedes related to the story about the kingdom of what is initiator but by the Ken Arok. I think it's Kediri Kingdom, Singasari Kingdom, as the what we call the Cikal Bakal, okay, the origin of the Majapahit Empire. Okay, so there's many or commonly believed in the Javanese kingdom that Ken Arok as the founder of the Hindu and Buddha kingdom in Java, maybe in Indonesia. Okay, so if we want to understand about the Arok Dedes written by Pramudia Anatur, we should be also understand about the history of Kediri and Singasari kingdoms in Java in the time of Hindu and Buddha period, including also Perang Bubad. As we know, this is narrating or explaining about the conflict between the Pajajaran kingdom and Majapahit Empire, in which one of the prime minister of Majapahit Empire, Gajah Mada, with the emperor Hayam Wuruk, and the kingdom of Pajajaran or the Sunda kingdom wants to negotiate or what we call organizing the marriage between the Dyah Pitaloka and the Hayam Wuruk. But unfortunately, according to Prime Minister Gajah Mada, this is not marriage and good relation between the Sunda Kingdom and Majapahit Empire. So Sunda Kingdom should be surrender to the Empire of Majapahit. Because of that, there's the clash between the Gajah Mada army and the Sunda Kingdom followers. I think if we want to use or analysis also the Perang Bubat, we should be understand also the history of Majapahit Empire, the history of Pajajaran Kingdom or Sunda Kingdom, the history of Hindu and Buddha period. Okay, so I think it is the approaching or technique how we can analyze the literature related to the what really happened in the history. Okay, so hopefully all of you understand. And if we want to text the topic or the title related to the literature and history, please should be aware, should be ensure that your title, your topic in literature, whether the novel, the short story, or the drama, should be connected with the what really happened in the history. Okay, so and hopefully your title, your topic also uh, uh, should be clear. Okay, so because of that, the head of class, please you personally collecting about the what the title or what the topic about the from the student want to analyze or presenting in the PowerPointers, just one slide, okay, related to the uh, historical event. So you can using the many literature, for example, maybe from novel, from short stories, cerpen, okay, from the drama, whatever you you are interested in, and then please related to the what the time in Indonesian history. This is categorized as the modern history or Islamic history or Hindu and Buddha history. Okay, so I think it is very important. And maybe the next week, okay, in the third meeting, Ramdan and who is PJ class A should be collecting about the title or the theme, the topic about the literature related to the historical studies or historical what is teaching and learning. Okay, so firstly, it is very important to understanding what really happened in the history before we analyze or using the literature to connect it, to be connected with the literature book. Okay, I think it is my lecture today. And before ending, please PG class, maybe Ramdan or others, take the picture, and please also ensure when take the picture by PG class, all student, all participants should be open camera, okay? Because if you off camera or not clear about your picture, you will be categorized as not attending in this lecture, okay? So Ramdan or others who will take picture, please inform to your friend should be on camera before take the picture, okay?
Oke, baik. Buat teman-teman yang belum dibuka kameranya, boleh dibuka dulu sebentar buat di screenshot.
Okay, please inform again, Ramdan, because this is just one slide, okay? Just 23 participants. I think it is one slide, and please ensure that you are the on camera before take picture by PG class. Okay, Ramdan, if ready, please take the picture.
Oke, saya akan mulai hitung ya buat Bella, Isdianti, Nabila, Akmal. Kalau bisa on kamera, boleh on kamera. Oke, kita mulai. 1, 2, 3.
One again, maybe.
Oke, sekali lagi.
Please
Satu.
inform to your friend. Should be on camera. You
Oh
are
ya,
sleeping, okay?
ya untuk Nabila boleh dibuka kameranya ya. Oke, oke sudah lengkap. Satu, dua, tiga.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, Ramdan, what is sending to our WhatsApp group, and for other student who takes the MBKM subject also should be makes the brief report related to your activities daily or weekly related to your MBKM agenda. Okay, and the report also should be directly written in the YouTube channel in which the video I will share in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Thank you very much for your attention, and let's ending our lecture today by reciting together Hamdalah. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Insyaallah we will meet again in the next week with a different topic. So maybe I will lecture you in the what we call in the 4 time. Okay, so in the 5 lecture or in the 5 meeting, maybe we will start what is the student presentation with the PowerPointers. Okay, just one slide, and as a lecture, I would like to make the comment, criticize about your presentation. Okay, in the 5th meeting. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih Bapak.
Okay, you're welcome. You can